What a day. We begin this afternoon at 4 o'clock with a look at the flash floods in Muncie, one of the hardest hit areas of East Central Indiana. Voluntary evacuation orders are in place as the fire department there continues water rescues. We have seen one after the other all day long. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on 13 News. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Anne-Marie in for Felicia, who has the day off today. Our top story as we start this afternoon is this widespread flooding all across central Indiana as we have more rain in our forecast. So for you tonight, we have comprehensive live team coverage. Rich Nye, north in Muncie. Jenna Webster, east in Cambridge City, out in Wayne County. Ella Rhodes, live here in Indianapolis. And we kick off our coverage with our meteorologist, Sean Ash. A very busy afternoon for him, tracking these waves of the system all day.
Well, look, this all started, if you want to go back to midnight, of course, we had the rounds of storms yesterday, but Rob made the handoff to Matt early in the morning. Matt and Lindsay were following this throughout sunrise, carried into the middle part of the day. I usually don't start with a big national map, but I want to in this particular situation, just so you can get a scope. This is estimated rainfall over the last 24 hours. So the wettest spot in our country is right here in Indiana, and specifically east central Indiana. So this is the radar sequence over the last 24 hours. I woke up this morning around 5 o'clock, could not believe my eyes when I was looking at this stationary heavy axis that developed just east of Indianapolis. And when we say it hung around for many hours, almost most of the day here, and this was just torrential rain that led into, unfortunately, and we don't say this often, but yes, in this case it verifies historic flooding. So this is the heavy rainfall footprint from this system here that includes Delaware, Madison, Henry, Wayne counties, where we've got our reporters that have been doing a phenomenal job. And I've never seen this here. This is flash flood emergency. Sometimes we might get half of a county in one part of our viewing area. We've got all of Madison, all of Henry, all of Delaware, all of Wayne, Fayette, Union counties here. Of course, those are the flash flood emergencies. We have many more counties that are under flash flood warnings, including the Indy metro area. These are rainfall rain estimates with ground truth. Many spots within this zone right here had about 2.5 to 3 months worth of rain over the last 24 hours, and a lot of that actually occurred in the last 12 hours. Here's the radar right now. So the heaviest rain is starting to wind down. What will happen, and I'll go into a little more detail on this coming up in the forecast here, we're going to transition from historic flash flooding to possibly in some areas historic river flooding. We still have some heavy storms that are over Columbus. These are not severe. We did have a confirmed tornado from earlier, but this is what we have right now. Those are the flash flood warnings. We're going to settle things down for a bit, but we've got more in the days ahead. I'll have more on that coming up in the 7-day forecast.
Yeah, I know that river flooding is a real concern, Sean. Stay close. We'll come back to you in a few. Right now, we want to get you to Muncie, where we have seen some of the worst flooding locals tell us they can ever remember.
Well, so we're talking northeast of Indianapolis up in Delaware County. That's where we sent our Rich Nye to check on the conditions on Hoyt Avenue, the southwest side of Muncie. So Rich has spent a lot of the day there, and he's part of our coverage. We're going to bring you that. But first, we want to head out east to Wayne County, Cathedral City, and that's where we have Jenna.
Jenna Webster, you've been there all day long. So before we get to Rich, let's check in with you and what you're seeing there.
Guys, there's been a lot going on. You just saw the fire truck going past me right now. Honestly, as we were coming on the air, we also saw a tow truck towing an ambulance that must have gotten stuck somewhere in the floodwaters. Let me give you some perspective on where I am. We're in Cambridge. This is the corner right here of Front and Green Street going into Main Street Route 40. So if you're familiar with this area, if you've seen the pictures online of the flooding today, Main Street has really been where a lot of it has been. But honestly, right here, if I just step out, we're on this neighbor's stool right now, this step, and my feet are completely underwater. We have not even tried to go over to Main Street just with wanting to be safe in these conditions today. And if you are looking down Front Street right now, it looks like a river, and it sounds like a river too, with just the rushing water. And honestly, I think it looks a little bit better than what we saw when we were out here earlier today. I want to give you an update. I've been talking to the fire chief today, and he really says this has been a group effort. They have 3 other fire departments, actually now 4 that are helping them. Lynn just came down to help. Wayne County EMA is here. They've got Reed Ambulance, and the DNR is responding. DNR has boats that's been helping rescue people where the fire trucks can't get. I just checked in with the Cambridge City Fire Department. They're estimating they're at about 40 to 50 rescues today. They're actually out on 3 right now. So those are rescuing people from their homes with the boats like DNR is doing. That's also helping people that have been stranded in their cars. That's as we were coming into Cambridge City. There were some areas where the roads were closed, where we saw some cars that were just left behind. We saw one person getting helped out of their car. You can see this is the Dublin Volunteer Fire Department going out on a rescue right now. And when they come through here, I mean, it's like waves in the ocean. That's how much standing water is here. They've actually had to evacuate about 100 people from their homes. And the fire chief asks everyone, hey, just please be patient. They are doing the best that they can.
Much. Now we want to check in on a Rich Nye who is in Muncie, where we've had dramatic images and rescues all day.
Yeah, we've seen dozens of water rescues and upwards of like 50 evacuations within a 5x5 block area on the southwest part of the city. Rich, are you there? What can you tell us?
Well, we've actually moved to another part on the southwest corner of Muncie because this is where the water evacuations have been taking place late this afternoon. We're standing on Hoyt Avenue, which is one of the main thoroughfares into Muncie when you're coming in from that direction. And you can see this neighborhood, these line of houses along Hoyt Avenue is completely yard flooded, and the water right up to their front doors. In some cases, the water has gone into their houses. And we've just in the last half hour seen 2 or 3 different rescues here at houses in this neighborhood. There are still some folks in these houses. Now, let me take you downtown. This is at 17th and Vine Street in Muncie, where water evacuations took place throughout the day. This is an area where a 5x5 block of homes and streets were flooded. Lots of people evacuated from those homes with their pets, with their families, in an area that has flooded most recently about a month ago, but never like this before. And I talked to some of those residents who just got out.
I looked on the phone, I looked and I saw water. And then my fan gurgled, so I got my fan pulled and I had to go out, and the water was starting to rise, and within a matter of 30 minutes I already had 6 inches in the house because it was rising that quick.
How do you handle this?
I'm trying to rely on my faith, believe it or not, and I'm a minister, and I'll be honest with you, it's even hard for me. I mean, this challenges everyone.
1 minute. A big challenge for the Muncie Fire Department today and for all these folks who have been impacted by this rain, which has finally let up. We're getting just another break, and now I'm getting a message on my phone telling me that this flash flood warning has been extended until 10:15 tonight in this Delaware County area, where if the roads are not rain covered or water covered like this, many of them are actually impassable. Again, we're on Hoyt Avenue on the southwest side of town, where water evacuations are taking place late this afternoon.
And your heart just goes out to those people. We've seen them being rescued, other people walking on their own with nothing more than a backpack, and some of them carrying their pets.
Right.
Trying to figure out where they're going to go and how long they'll be out.
Right, and then they see the forecast that more rain is headed
Yeah.
this way. It's got to be very discouraging. So that's Rich reporting Delaware County. Of course, he was standing in the middle of the roadway, and that's just a little bit of a signal of all the impact that the rain is having on travel and roads across central Indiana. In fact, right now, nearly a dozen counties are under some sort of a travel advisory. So the one there in red, that's Henry County, that's a level 1 warning. That means that people are asked to stay off the roads altogether there. Wayne and Fayette counties now under an orange alert. That means essential travel only on the roadways. And then there are also several counties up in the northwestern part of the state. They're under travel warnings, all because of the damaging wind and the storms that came through the area and impacted travel as early as yesterday.
I have never seen this before. Look, Starbucks is completely flooded.
Viewers like that man right there have been sending us incredible video of the flash flooding all day long. This is from Gas City in Grant County, not far from the I-69 interchange. If you're familiar with that area, you can see the entire intersection flooded. One of many intersections flooded, many shut as well. And then there's this one in Newcastle, where homes were evacuated, cars submerged, and roads washed out like that one. This giant sinkhole opened up today during the historic rainfall, and coming up at 4:30, we'll have reaction to the flash flooding from neighbors and the mayor there in that community as well.